Hey BookTube, it's Samantha, and I know it's been a while, but we're at that part in the moving process that things are just happening all at once. So I've been actually pretty busy. Tim's been here, so that's been great to spend time with my husband again, but on the other hand, we've been busy every single day. We're either at work, working on the backyard, or trying to spend time with friends before we're gone. So, it's been a while since I've been able to film, and I did actually record a video a couple weeks ago, but it was just way too long and too much of a hassle to edit. So we're just gonna go with this one. And actually it's pretty relevant because I didn't realize it until about a couple days ago. Since we're moving, the relocation company is really awesome in that they're gonna be packing all of our stuff, moving it across country, and then they're gonna put it in storage until we find a house out there. And then once we find a house, they'll actually take it out of storage and partially unpack it for us, which is great. There's one hitch though. All these books are gonna be packed up with it. And we could be in storage for a month and a half, 2 months. That doesn't work very well for me. I need to read. I need to have some books. My husband told me you better plan on packing some books. Choose some that you're going to bring with you because we're not going to be able to have access to the books when they're in storage. I know I was wanting to stay away from the TBR thing, but in this case, I don't have a choice. So I'm giving you guys a TBR of the books that I'm planning to take with me, and we're gonna see the progress that I make on it. I've actually had a really good reading month, so I am optimistic about getting into some bigger books. We'll see. What books are on my TBR? Let's answer that for you. I mentioned this before on a previous one, but I wasn't ready. I think I'm ready now. Oathbringer. If you don't know, it's the third book in the Stormlight Chronicles by Brandon Sanderson. It's supposed to be a 10-book series, and all of them are thick. I have yet to finish it. I was really enjoying it. I got about 200 pages in, and then I just kind of stopped because I got burnt out. I was reading the books back to back. So I'm going to give this another shot. I know I was enjoying it, so I just need to get back into it. Plus, it's going to last me a while. The second book on my list, which is definitely one I am going to be reading no matter what, and I'm actually really excited about, is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is book 1 of the Expanse series and is really my introduction into sci-fi and space operas because I really haven't read very many of them. This is technically a space opera, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. I know it's big, but I've actually read probably about 50 pages of this, and it's really easy to read. You don't get caught up in all the techno-babble and whatnot that you might think like with Star Trek. Now, the reason I'm reading this is because the Shades of Orange, which I'll link her channel and the video of her talking about it down below, is going to be doing a readathon of sorts of going through all the books, since the last book is going to be coming out, I think, early next year. This is the only book I have of the series, but if I really love this one, I definitely want to continue reading them. So if you want to be part of that little readathon, or at least together to read this book, please join down below. We're all having conversations about our reading progress and whatnot starting in September. And there's a group that we're going to be doing that at. So I would love to talk with you guys about this. This is my first journey actually reading this, and my first journey into sci-fi. Really excited about it. So I'm glad I'm going to be reading this with other people, and I really hope to see you reading along with us. The next book that I'm going to talk about is a maybe that I'll read. I'll probably bring it along with me, but I don't know if I'm actually going to read it or not. I want to eventually, but we'll see. And that's Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I'm just hesitant because it is so big and I already have these 2 really big books. Depending on how it reads, if it reads well, which I've heard it actually reads kind of slow, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do with that. But then on the other hand, if it's a slow read, maybe it'll last me until I have access to my books again. So that's kind of along the lines that I'm thinking. It's on the TBR list. We'll see if I get to it. Since I have these big chunkers of books to read that I think all of them are over 1,000 pages long, I figured I better do myself a little bit of a break and put some smaller / easier books for me to read. One of those is Sojourn by R.A. Salvatore. This is book 3 of the Legend of Drizzt series. It is part of the D&D megaverse, multiverse, whatever you want to call it. I have really been enjoying this series. I've talked about these books multiple times on my channel. I have the next 4 books in the series because I'm loving it so much. I know this is going to be an easy read for me. I know I'm going to love every single page of it. So for me, this is a light read, but I'm hoping it'll give me the break I need between all of this. Going along that same dynamic is Dragons of Winter Night by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. This is book 2 of the Dragonlance series, also within the Dungeons and Dragons blank verse, whatever you want to put. I absolutely loved the first one. I immediately bought the whole series after reading it, and I love these characters. I'm going to try and jump into this one without rereading the first one. Let me see if there's kind of a summary in the beginning. I might just kind of briefly go over the different characters from book 1 just so I can remember who's who with names. But I think I can jump into this one pretty easy. I remember just really loving this world, and I think it's going to be another easy read for me. A little bit thicker, so I'm hoping it'll take maybe a week or 2 to get through it. Again, to delay the reading process and hopefully break up these chunkers. And the last ones that I'm going to talk about, I know they're going to be easy to pick up, and that's Skip Beat, volumes 10 through 12 and 13 through 15. I'm currently working my way through volumes 7 through 9, and it's quite possible that I might go ahead and start 10 through 12. I'll definitely bring at least 2 of these, if not 3. It is about this girl named Kyoko who had a childhood friend that she just adored and took care of and did everything for him. And as a teenager, he kind of cast her aside and became this world famous singer. When he cast her aside, she's like, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to become more famous than you. And he's like, try me. She joins a company that is an enemy to his company and runs into this guy named Ren, who is also a really famous actor and doesn't really take her seriously. You're just kind of watching her be silly and weird and crazy as she grows in her talent, and it shows that she really does have a natural talent of acting. And then, of course, as you can see, the relationship kind of slowly develops. If you like slow burn romances, this is for you. This slow burn romance has lasted over at least 30 volumes, okay? And this is 3 volumes, so at least 10 of these books. Slow. But I love it because she's freaking crazy. She does these little demon summoning things and, Japanese stuff. They're weird. But she's just so silly, and she reminds me a little bit of me. I can't help it. I love her. So, long story long, I'm bringing at least 2, maybe 3 of these. And that's what I'm packing because, unfortunately, this is all I can bring. And as we've talked before, when it comes to TBRs, most of the time I don't stick to them because my mood changes, my taste changes. Oh, I forgot to talk. No, this is not it. This is not it. I'm adding 2 more books to this because we might be in storage for a month and a half. maybe 2, depending on when we find a house. And if we're going to be in storage for a month and a half, that's going to get us into October. And if we're in storage for 2 months, that means all of October. I cannot be living somewhere in October without reading any horror. Like, no, that's not happening. So I'm going to bring 2 books with me. I'm going to try and utilize Libby, which is a mobile app that you can connect with your library to read ebooks and audiobooks. So if you didn't know about that, look and see if your local library does it, because I love the app. Anyway, I'm still using Libby to utilize the LA Public Library since I'm going in between. I'm going to try and put some books on hold right now so that they're available in October, or however that timing happens. We'll see. Long preparation. Next book I'm going to talk about is Unburied Carol by Josh Malerman. I really love Josh Malerman's books. I first read Bird Box, like a lot of people, fell in love with it, and then I read the Wheel one, Black Bad Wheel, I believe, where it's about this mysterious sound that is playing in the desert, and the military is wanting to use the sound as a weapon, and so they send out teams to find out what the sound is, and none of the teams come back. So you're following one of the teams as they try to find the sound. So I read that one. It was definitely a bizarre ending, but I still really enjoyed it. So I decided to pick up Unburied Carol. I just fell in love with this black cover. I just love it. There is this woman, obviously named Carol. She has this syndrome where sometimes it appears as if she's dead or like in a coma-like state, but she's still alive. And there's not very many people that know about her condition. One of those people is her husband, and he tries to take advantage of her condition and buries her alive when she's in one of these states. So from what it sounds like to me is that a big part of the book is her just trying to get out from the grave. Oh my God, it just sounds so creepy, and being claustrophobic is definitely one of my things that I don't like. So I think this is gonna put me on edge in a good way, hopefully. I'm really interested to see how this goes and how I'm gonna like it. The last book going on this, probably too big, TBR, is Exorcist Falls by Jonathan Janz. Now, this author, I have been seeing him all over the horror booktube Twitter, and I really wanted to try him out. This was one of the books that was really captivating my eye. It's obviously something doing with an exorcist. There are these murders that are happening in town, and there's this 14-year-old boy who seems to be possessed by something, and he seems to know too much about the killings. So a priest goes to his house to try and do an exorcism, and I'm sure things get really messed up. Now, I think exorcism is turning into a thing for me because I first read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix and really loved this book. It was more about friendship, and then at the end, it was about the possession, but I really love this book. Definitely going to read it again at some point. But after reading that, I think I'm really going to love this. The cover's just freaking perfect. And it's pretty thick too. So I think with the combination of these two and then something else, I think that's going to get me through October. Maybe a library book too? We'll just have to see. And who knows? Maybe this is going to be completely different when I do my September wrap up or my October wrap up. Maybe I pack different books, but for the moment, this is what I'm planning on packing. So let me know if you're going to be participating in the readathon with Shades of Orange and me for the Leviathan Wakes. And let me know if you've read any of these other books and your non-spoilery opinions of them. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. Until next time, which honestly, I don't know when that'll be. We'll see. Bear with me, please. I'm moving across the country. So, yeah, I'll try to keep you updated. Otherwise, see ya.